Yo, 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 what is going on, people? Welcome to Throw Down Your Questions, episode 187, the E3 special. I'm your returning host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by another returning person, Mr. Emilio Lopez.
We are back and tan.
Carlos Romero.
What up, everyone? Welcome to... Oh, no, I don't have to do it anymore. Okay, cool. What's up, guys?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Brian Manjoma.
Yo, yo, yo.
Brett Murdoch.
I never left and I'm still pacey as shit.
And Adam Vale.
What up, people?
All right, man, we are back. The full crew has assembled like fucking Voltron, man.
Yo, man, we're the Avengers now.
You know? All right, so in case you weren't here for the last 10 seconds, we're doing our E3 special. We're going to be taking your questions. We already got a couple questions here, but we're inviting you guys in the chat to ask us some more shit right now. You know, but before we start, I want to give a shout out to a couple people that deserve it, man. First, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Carlos here for hosting the show, holding it down for a week, son. Good shit.
Great stuff, man. You know, awesome stuff. I mean, I popped on one of the EA show. It was really good stuff, and you guys held it down.
Yeah, shout out to Chris, obviously, for the MP3 shit. You know, kept those guys, eating. You know, that was good. And obviously, Dana and Gary and all day, man. You know, there were our guest specials, so that was pretty good. You know, our special guests, good shit there. We're gonna try to get some of those guys on again. When did you guys get Gary? You got him in the mornings, I guess, right? Because he can't be on usual throwdowns, you know, because it's mad late and shit.
Yeah, but we got him on the Sony show, which was kind of late.
Well, you know, the Sony one, you gotta make an exception for that, I guess. You know.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he was covering it, so he had to be watching it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Man, that's crazy. And then Nintendo we didn't do, but we did get questions, so we're gonna cover that tonight, man. So I don't want to waste any time here. Oh, actually, no. Before we start, a couple of you guys asked us some non-E3 shit or things that were kind of about E3, but not exactly. So I'm gonna save all of those for tomorrow night's show. Tomorrow night, Tony, what the fuck you talking about, man? You'll find out later. You know. All right. So first up here is Mr. Him Deal. All right, so he goes, yo, I really enjoyed the E3 coverage and live reactions. It made me misty-eyed and think about MST3K. You all should definitely continue live reactions. Yeah, man, we're going to keep it going, you know. If there's shit to react to, we will react to it. All right, so his first question is, Shuhei Yoshida is out here saying Sony has more unannounced games this year. What would you all like to see or think is coming? I believe in my soul, SOCOM is coming back this year. Apparently, you know, all the stuff they showed at E3 wasn't enough. Sony has even more unannounced games. So what do you guys think these things could be?
Well, before we actually answered, what were the games that were unannounced that were announced during E3 that were like sort of Sony games?
What do you mean? The games that were unannounced?
Like, because we pretty much knew all of the games that were announced or shown. Like, what were the games that we didn't know that were announced that are like Sony games, Sony exclusive
that's
games?
a good question. I don't think there were. I mean, I could be wrong. I was gonna say the Remedy game, but that's not exclusive.
Nope. Neither is Resident Evil 2.
Neither is Resident Evil 2. Neither is
that Ghost game, that Ghost of what are his faces?
No, we knew Ghost of Tsushima was coming.
Really?
Yeah, we knew that. Yeah, we knew that.
Fuck.
What was the other one? The Tokiro game. Was that one? Is that exclusive?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's weird because I don't think there was like an actual announcement of a Sony exclusive game
that we didn't already know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they must have a lot of cards in their or I don't know what the phrase is, but they must have a lot of exclusives because they didn't really announce any this year or any this E3.
Yeah, I think the phrase you're looking for is playing it close to the chest. I'm guessing, my guess is, I could be wrong, my guess is it's probably going to be some middle tier to lower kind of games, you know what I mean? Nothing that's going to blow you away at E3, but stuff that people will like regardless, you know? Go ahead, Brett.
I was just saying, I missed the part, like, where is this information coming from that they have all these unannounced games?
From a video that Shuhei Yoshida put up.
Oh, yeah, then they're definitely indie games.
Yeah, you know, come on, man.
Like, I mean, context is important in this kind of thing. If they're like, we have 14, like, okay, if it's coming from the company, then they're trying to inflate the numbers and show that they have a diverse catalog, which means it's not, this big blockbuster thing. This was coming from an industry insider or a developer that was saying it.
Well, this is Shuei Yoshida who runs PlayStation. He's the head of
that's what I'm
PlayStation.
saying. When it's coming from the brand, that translates to we've got a bunch of indie games that we didn't feel we had the time to spotlight during E3.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's going to be some
shuffle.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. You'll maybe get some AA game, 1 or 2, but I think most of these are going to be indie games. Let's just be real here, you know. Anyway, but you know, just for the fuck of it, what do you guys want them to announce?
I'd like them to show a little more Days Gone, because they kind of brushed past that at the conference. They showed, for us, watching that intermission while you guys were moving around, it got maybe 20 seconds on the screen. They showed a little bit, and they didn't say any more details, nothing. We don't know anything more than we knew before.
Oh, Chris, it's funny you mentioned Days Gone. There was another game they kept showing, and they showed it repeatedly. They didn't say jack shit about it. A game called Dreams.
Oh, yeah, the Muppet looking guys.
Yeah,
I'm like,
interesting thing about Dreams. Dreams was like, it was shown in between the you know, the games and stuff, and also had a Dreams concert that Manny and I were watching, but nothing about the actual game, you know.
And they filmed it, but we didn't see it. But nobody ever saw that, I guess.
Yeah,
no, we didn't see that.
Yeah, you guys didn't see the concert. I'm like, why aren't you guys showing them the good stuff?
They're like, what they did was they literally were like, okay, everybody gather in the room for the second part. I'm like, second part of what?
Yeah,
so we go in there and we see like a bunch of trailers and we're like, oh, is that it? And then all of a sudden the guys pop on the stage doing some Dreams music.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's crazy they didn't show you guys that shit. Anyway, any other games you guys want Sony to announce?
Gravity Rush 3.
Happening, by the way. Annihilator. That's a question for tomorrow night show, brother. This ain't AMA. This is E3, brother. Come on now. All right. Next up here, if I had to bet on which of Microsoft's new studios will deliver the first hotness, I'd go with Ninja Theory, hands down. Which of the newly acquired studios do you all think will be spitting out that hotness? What the studio that's making We Happy Few, because that game's already pretty much done. That's going to be the first one.
That's August.
Yeah. There you go. So Ninja Theory ain't going to come out with a game for a while, brother. You know.
And by the way, all these studios that Microsoft announced as their acquisitions, I'm pretty sure most of them, if not all of them, are gonna release their first exclusive game for the next gen. Yeah. I think this is a play for the long run. I don't think they're
really. What about the Forza guys? They're releasing the first one this year. You know?
Well, yeah. Any games that haven't been announced yet or haven't been given a date.
Phil said that We Happy Few is also going to be on PS4. He said that was a contract done before they bought the studio, so that's not exclusive.
Like the the Playground game, the open world game, that's not going to come out this gen.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's something I think I wrote about. I basically said, like, you know, Microsoft is preparing itself for the next generation with this studio acquisition, and the fact that they were like, yeah, we got another console too, brother. You know, they're getting ready, man. Like we've been saying, this generation Xbox One itself, shit is done. You know, the only hope is in next generation. So they're preparing themselves. But yeah, the first game out the gate, because we already know it's coming out the gate, is the We Happy Few. You know. So yeah, we don't need to go into that. That's your answer. All right. Next up here, G Megaforce 123. So he goes, which of the 3 samurai games and outside E3 are you most excited for? I'm getting all 3. All right. So the 3 games are Ghost of Tsushima, Neo 2, and that Sekiro game. I'm probably fucking up the title, whatever the fuck it is. I think default for me, obviously, is Ghost of Tsushima. Even though I'm still like a little bit on the fence about that one, but that's mostly because me and samurai stuff is like a little iffy, you know. Neo, I don't care about. The Sekiro game, whatever the fuck it is, I don't care about.
It's got demons.
Yeah, but you know, the Sucker Punch is Sucker Punch, so I'm giving them benefit of that. And that trailer show was actually pretty cool. You know, just to be honest, it was pretty cool. You know, Manny, what about you? Of the 3 samurai games, which one are you most excited for?
I'm gonna go with. Wait, I got a visual aid.
Oh, you got visual aid, the visual aid god.
I got a couple of visual aids.
Yo, man, you know who it is.
I got this. That's what I got right there. I'm gonna say Ghost of Tsushima.
There you go.
So for those listening, what is it?
It's a pin.
It's a Ghost of Tsushima pin.
A Ghost of Tsushima pin. They actually had a lot of really cool stuff. In fact, I won it just by standing next to the samurai and taking a photo.
Oh, nice.
All right, Chris.
I'm looking forwd to obviously Spider-Man. Like I
No, the
can't.
samurai game, brother.
Samurai.
Samurai.
Oh wait, out of the Shadows Die Twice. Does that count?
Yeah, it does. That's the Sukido game, right?
Dude, it is Samurai Souls. I joke about Samurai Souls. That is literally Samurai Souls. I
There was
can't
some pretty cool stuff
freaking
in
wait.
there. Like,
There's some enemy designs that look like they were pulled right out of either Bloodborne or Dark Souls. Like
Mhm.
that huge dude that pile drives him. There's a scene where this big thing, this dude picks him up and like gives him like a DDT in the ground. That guy is from Dark
Mhm.
Souls 3. You know? So I'm like seeing all this stuff like, oh, they pull it. I love that he has a grapple arm. I was like
Mhm.
making Bionic Commando jokes. Like he's like grappling around. But I was like, yo, give me that. Ghost of Tsushima looks good, but it's like slow and methodical. I don't know if I like that it has no heads up because you have to sit there and like, oh, I gotta time it and parry and slash the guy. You know, I don't know. I like my little circle prompts and stuff so no one hit the button.
Give me them prompts,
If you could turn those on, I'm set. Then that'll be great.
Chris, you didn't know no goddamn prompts in Dark Souls.
motherfucker.
I know, but this is different, man. It's all the stakes are on one slash and you're dead, man.
Dude, it looks like a cross between Dark Souls and Bushido Blade, which I'm okay with. Like, I'm actually.
Bushido Blade, you were screwed. Like one hit, you messed up.
That's it.
You're dead.
Right to the throat.
I love that game though.
Game over. Shit.
Yep.
At the time, I remember I worked over at GameStop, and people rushed in, they bought it, and then like a week later, everyone was bringing that shit back. Like,
Bro,
Wait! Not GameStop. Back in those days.
Oh, it was a software etc. Software etc.
Just so you guys know, Ghost of Tsushima, the developer already said that shit is not going to be Dark Souls hard. They said, so don't think it's going to be on that
It's
level.
not going to be the Samurai Dark Souls of Samurai
Yeah.
Samurai games.
I don't think it's. Okay, look, I think.
Shadows
with all
Die
of this-
Twice, on the other hand, that may be some ill shit. you
No,
know?
yeah.
No, I
that's
think
gonna-
that's gonna be more Bloodborne-like. Okay, so like, I think this is a good time because the word Dark Souls like gets thrown around so much that we actually probably should start to kind of define it. 'cause
No,
there's
we're not going
more
to do it. Not tonight. Not tonight. We're doing
No,
E3
I'm not
shit.
getting into it. I'm not getting into it. All I'm saying is there's more to Dark Souls than a game being hard. There's timing, there's pacing, there's spacing, and a lot of games have developed or taken on a lot of these things. So I see this as more Bushido Blade than anything else, like a modern incarnation of Bushido Blade. But Dark Souls does have a more methodical pacing, whereas Bloodborne goes a little bit more arcadey. And from Shadows Die Twice seems like it banks more on the arcadey side. Now, none of that means it's any less Dark Souls-y. I'm splitting hairs, I guess.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Brett, since you're talking, which one are you anticipating of these three games?
I'm weirdly enough both of them, and I was expecting to be like, oh man, Shadows Die Twice all day long. But
By the way, there's 3.
Yeah.
You didn't play Neo.
Yeah, he didn't
though.
play Neo, so I don't think that counts for him.
Yeah,
was a
no, I still need to
surprise,
go back and play Neo. Actually, that's on my to do. So no, it's between Ghosts and Shadows Die Twice for me. And honestly, I think I'm gonna play both of them because they look different enough. Sometimes I really like that slow, methodical. Because it makes you feel like a badass. You're like, wait for it, blam! Everybody.
Well, Shadows is more of the demons and monsters, and it's got the From Software thing to it. So it's definitely going to be a different experience than that. I mean, I guess the closest version of that would probably be Neo, but even Neo has a little bit of that Ninja Gaiden feel to it. It's a little more fast paced and stuff.
And I'm happy about that. I'm really excited to see what Shadows Die Twice looks like. It looks like they just what I was hoping From Software would do. Like they wanted to branch out, they want to do some new things, but they're kind of fusing all of the good things about their games into other things. So yeah, they can. Would I love to see From Software make a Ninja Gaiden game? Fucking yes, absolutely. 8 days a week. Would I expect it to play like Dark Souls? No, not really, but I would expect it to have some similarities, and that seems to be what they're doing here. Taking what works and then trying some other stuff on the side, which, in my opinion, is the perfect way for a studio to kind of expand. Meanwhile, like Ghost is again, like it strikes me as Bushido Blade. Like holy shit, like just. You wait, you time it, you do some badass samurai thing, and then everybody like slides apart and falls down all over. Come on, everybody kind of wants to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Carlos, man.
Yeah, I'm anticipating all 3. But for sure, I think for me it'll be Ghost of Tsushima because it's the more cinematic game. That one scene during E3, the one scene where they're fighting under that tree that had all the leaves going down in the fucking sunset, that shit was amazing. I was losing my fucking mind. That shit was crazy. So
Carlos was like, dude.
I was like, nah, that was for Last of Us 2.
We'll get to that later.
Yo, man, that was beautiful, man. That whole world, I was like, yo, this shit looks majestic as fuck when he's riding that horse. It's
Dude, the way you said that was great. Dude, this shit looks majestic as fuck.
Majestic as fuck.
Yo, man,
I love it.
Yo, this fucking game, I was like, my expectations, my hopes and expectations were so low for Ghost of Tsushima. Not like they're non-existent pretty much because I wasn't really expecting much until I watched this the E3 and I was like, everything just got raised up. It's one of my most anticipated games.
Yo, it's God of War all over again, man. Remember when they showed that final trailer?
It's God of War all over again. Exactly, man. Because we weren't even hyped for God of War, to be honest, until we saw that leaked footage and we lost our minds. And then Brian told us, I don't see what the hell the point is about. And then we were like, bro.
We all tend to like something if Brian. Like, he's kind of like the groundhog. You know, Brian pops up and sniffs around and goes, I don't like it. Then we can all safely kind of dogpile it.
Yeah. Oh God. All right.
Well, speaking of Brian,
yes.
speaking of what I don't like, I don't like
when I'm being talked about in the third person.
You know. Hey, Brian, man, which one of these games are you anticipating, or do you not care about any of them?
Shadows Die Twice. I'm not too enthusiastic about the ghost of whatever his face is.
Fuck that guy. Fuck Tsushima.
I honestly just don't see anything that is attractive to me at all in that game. So maybe that's just me. But hey, you guys enjoyed. You guys have fun. I'll be waiting for Shadows Die Twice. The guy has a switch axe in his arm. What else could I want?
Hey.
And he can jump.
He can jump. Adam, what about you, man? Do you even care about any of these?
Man.
Ghosts. Hit me with that.
It's like, just the visuals alone. It's like, man, that was. It looked great. It looked like it was gonna have a great storyline. I love the combat. You know, the fact that he dropped down and had that Batman feel. You know, he's making quick work, and then you see the leaves just brushing across the ground, and the sun rising. So I'm like, oh, this is awesome. The fire effects. It looked great.
Yeah, that game's gonna be insane, bro. All right, where the fuck are we? Oh, thank you guys. Keep those questions coming, man.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. As long as it's about E3.
It is. Is Kojima okay?
Oh, he's perfectly fine. We saw him the other day.
I heard what happened. Yeah, no, he's
No. I saw after seeing the new trailer. Like I'm sitting there like, have they just left him in a room alone too long? Like, what is going on with this game?
Yeah, we actually do have a question about Death Stranding, so let's hold on to that for a little bit. All right, where the hell are we now? Okay, Black Metal Gamer. All right, this will be fun. I think you guys covered this on the main show, so yes. Carlos, let me know. Should we go over this again? His question is, what conference was your favorite? Should we go over that again? What do you want to do it?
Well, we can do it pretty quick with everyone who was there, and then you guys can expound because you and Manny didn't really talk about this.
That is true. All right, so I'll go down the line here. Carlos, which one was your favorite?
For me, it was Xbox. It was the most cohesive conference. It didn't have any hiccups. It showed the most games, and it had the biggest megaton. Second is Sony because of obvious reasons, and yeah.
All right, Chris.
Oh wait, I missed something.
Yeah, what was your favorite conference, bro? Quickly.
Oh, Microsoft's. Honestly, I felt like they had the most to prove, and they came out very apologetic, and they came out very strong with showing their commitment. Like I literally just said the week before on Throwdown that they could easily go the way of Zune, and Xbox could just become a service and they just let it slide. And they came out strong, and they're like, no, we're committed. We're going into it. We bought 5 studios. We started another one. Look at all this stuff coming out, and we're going into next Xbox. Like Phil Spencer, just like, that's it. We're committed to you guys. So I was like, okay, that's impressive. You know, especially like EA shouldn't go first because they put the bar so low, so everything else looked way better. But Microsoft's, I think, had the best presentation. Not content-wise, I said Sony had the better content, but they had the best presentation.
Yeah. Brian.
It was Microsoft. I thought they did quite well, but my favorite was Volvo Digital. They literally just put on a conference that was just talking shit about all the conferences.
You only like it because Metal Wolf Chaos got announced.
Oh no, because of My Friend Pedro. It was the only game that actually looked interesting my point of view. It's like you get to
That's
spin
how they
around and
follow.
like shoot people in slow motion. Okay, I'm down with that. It's Max Payne but 2D. And plus they talk shit about Bitcoin and loot boxes. So yeah, like fuck yeah, you win. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah.
Yeah. Again, because you guys already gave your exhaustive answers. Brett, favorite conference, man.
Sony for substance, but Microsoft gets the award for style.
All right, Adam.
Yeah, it was Microsoft for me. You know, they didn't have all the games to show, but just they came out strong. The studios, just the nonstop, you know, game trailer. You know, it just they had a flow and it worked and it made me happy.
All right. All right. Now me and Manny could expand. Manny, go ahead.
I actually would say I didn't have one particular favorite, but I have to say the Xbox conference was the better of them because of just how much they showed and because you knew what direction they were going to be going. To be honest, as much as I enjoyed going to the Sony conference, I do not believe that they were effective at showing exactly why you should be buying a PlayStation or why you should, or why you want to continue to have one. I mean, granted, all the games that we saw there were all games that we've seen before. And then the ones that came out of nowhere were games that were third-party games.
I don't know. Control came out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Control came out of nowhere, but it wasn't even a PlayStation exclusive.
Oh, third party. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, it's a third party. So, I feel like, it's, hey, those games looked great. That's great. But at the same time, I just was like, it just didn't seem like it made me totally optimistic because of things that we already knew was coming there. And not to mention, none of those games had a single release date. Most of the third party games had it, and Spider-Man obviously had one. So we don't even know when any of those games are coming. Then that was the failure of the Sony one. But we had for Xbox, knew where they were going. We knew what they were going to do things. You know what was coming out. You know what things that they were going to do in the future. And I think they did a better job of communicating that, unlike the Sony show, which they literally left you guys, sitting and watching some bums on a desk while everybody was being moved over to another theater.
You're a bum, Rock. You're a bum.
Yeah, come on. It is to be honest, it's like I always say this. I say this is like it's the equivalent of the best example I could see of this is essentially you're watching somebody eating a steak in a fancy restaurant from across the street. That's exactly what the Sony show was. It's great for the people that were sitting inside of the fancy restaurant eating the steak, while meanwhile you're sitting outside across the street, think, hey, that place kind of looks cool. They're eating a steak. I know what a steak tastes like, but yeah.
Did they tell you guys beforehand that was a plan, that you guys were just here temporarily, or?
They kind of, because Tony's in a wheelchair, they actually kind of let loose a couple of things that we were going to do.
Oh yeah, they let us know what was up beforehand.
They kind of let us know what was up beforehand, but everybody in the room did not know what was going to happen next. So they didn't know we were going to go to the next room, that there was going to be a next room. The only thing that everybody was thinking, I think, was, man, this room is kind of tiny, for a conference. But really, it was just, a temp room to sit us in. To be honest, to be honest, if you think about it, they probably should have did something like move us over during something happening, so that we were in the next room already. But then again, we wouldn't have seen the Last of Us trailer. So
yeah,
there you go.
What was the reaction? This is what I was curious about with the banjo. Like, what were people thinking, and were they like, "Is this killing time?" Like,
no, they love that shit over there.
Banjo, yeah. Once they heard the dude's name,
yeah,
they were just like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, they lost their minds as soon as
that guy's pretty well known. But other than, I mean, to be honest, I also thinking like, yeah, this is also kind of seems like wasted time a little bit. You know what I mean?
Did you guys peek over at Kojima just to see what his reactions were to the game?
Kojima was literally sitting in the front row. I was sitting behind maybe two rows.
Yeah, there were
him.
There were two people or three between me and Kojima. It was hilarious.
And the thing is that Kojima had security.
Yeah, he had his own security. There was the regular security that was already in there, and then the his security, and they were talking
about by the way, Shinkawa was there too, the artist from Metal Gear and in Death Stranding.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to offer the dissenting opinion. My favorite conference, you already know, people, the fucking PlayStation. I've been to, I've been to so many of these, and this is the first time where like they actually moved us around. It was a really unique experience. You know, like we were there in the church of Sony, right, checking out the Last of Us trailer. Then we went through this like hall that was like Ghost of Tsushima, was very Japanese. If you guys saw me and Manny's reaction, we actually recorded and stuff. That was really cool. Then it took us to this huge theater, right, where we got to see the rest of it. That was really cool. And then obviously, you know, the content, as you guys already said, that was the best when you saw Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us. The big surprise there was fucking the Remedy game. I didn't see that shit coming at all, you know. So yeah, let me finish, motherfucker. You went, you know, shit. So yeah, that was dope. I enjoyed all that. And then you know, obviously the after stuff was really good, but it doesn't really count here. But I will say this, because I understand that some people, you know, the people at home didn't, you know, experience it. Yeah, the
majority.
People. Yeah, let's just be honest though, they didn't get the full experience. But since the question is what was our favorite, I'm just being real right now. That kind of, I can't factor that in there. I enjoyed the Sony shit, and you know, again, the presentation was dope. The way they moved us around was pretty dope. The games were obviously the best ones shown there.
You know,
so yeah,
multi-plat.
What happened?
The Remedy one is a multi-plat.
Yeah, it is multi-plat. But remember, even Microsoft, most of theirs,
I mean, I feel like Cyberpunk had more when it came to like the enthusiasm of something like, wow, we've been waiting for this for a long time.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about cyber, whatever the fuck it's called, in a little bit. Yeah, Cyberpunk. Anyway, Manny, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say I did have an inkling that they might be showing something, because I saw Sam Lake, like after the Microsoft thing, just walking around in front of the building. I'm like, okay, number one, why are you here? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, why is Sam Lake here? He's just not, and then they're not working on anything that I know of. Haha, little did I know. Next day. Yeah,
I got an inside story, but I'm gonna have to hide some of the names, you know, to protect, you know, the witnesses. All right, so one of my friends who was at the Sony show, he was sitting down next to one of the Remedy guys, right? And he's like, the fuck's this guy doing here? So we asked him, hey, are you guys showing a game tonight? And the developer's like, no. He flat out said no. As soon as they showed the Remedy game, my man gets up and puts on a fucking Control jacket. It's fucking hilarious.
Control.
You know? All right. So let's move on here. We got a lot of questions, and just bear with me. I got to put them all together.
Real quick, just to link with that.
What's up?
A lot of people kept saying, it was like, oh, why aren't they doing a Max Payne? They have to understand, Rockstar owns that. They don't, Remedy no longer has Max Payne. That's Rockstar. But I saw a lot of people like, why don't it look so much like Max Payne? Why don't they just do another Max Payne? It's like they don't have the rights to that.
Yo, when you guys watched it, I don't know if this is me, because I was like, yo, that looks like female Quantum Break, son. You know,
yeah,
and it kind of was.
That's exactly what Tony said to me.
Remember that, man? It's like
we didn't see the company. You're just like, man, this kind of looks like Quantum Break, and then it said Remedy, and went, oh.
Yeah, by the way, I'm gonna reenact it a little bit. I looked to Manny. I'm like, yo, doesn't that look like female Quantum Break?
Shit, if they bring back those TV episode segments, then there you go.
They said they're gonna tone that shit down. You know.
You guys can watch our live reaction where I call that shit out. I'm like, yo, this shit looks like Quantum Break. And then someone said, it's like, oh, it's probably that new Remedy game. And I'm like, oh shit, it's probably the new Remedy game. And then they showed the logo, and it's like, duh.
You know, by the way, please watch the reaction that Carlos and the boys had to Last of Us. That is fucking classic. It's that gameplay. It's that gameplay.
There's still people are calling that animation into question.
People are fucking full of shit. By the way, I'm gonna expose you right now. I'm gonna expose you right now. The real reason Manny, you know, his favorite was Microsoft is because he got the full hip hop gamer experience. Man, you gotta tell him this shit is hilarious.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this, man. Like, sitting next to hip hop gamer is like no other experience that you could ever have.
Yo, Manny, how's your arm feeling, man?
Oh man, my arm's doing much better now. Man, this dude was like literally like, he's like shaking me around and shit. It was like being in a fucking amusement park. At one point he's choking me. He's like, oh. I'm like,
we saw him sitting next to Rich at the Bethesda one.
Oh my god! Dude, I'm laughing because hip hop has done that shit to me before. He's like, "Yo, son," he's like, "Why are you killing me right now?"
And then my favorite part was when there was some shit. He's like, some shit he wasn't caring. I was like, "That's alright. That's alright." Just calm down. It'd be like an intermission. And oh.
Oh God, hip hop, man.
And we were up in the nosebleeds, man. We were like the last batch of people to get in, all the way up at the top. I took some footage of it. Literally, you were just at the tippy top of this place.
Hey, man, at least you got in, though. You know.
Yeah, at least we got in. But yeah, it was a very it was an experience. I said it to Rich, and he goes, "Yes, it is an experience."
Back to you, Jim.
All right, man. Let's move on here. Where the fuck? I'm all lost right now. Okay, Black Metal Gamer continues. Okay, do third-party games revealed during a conference push a narrative that casuals that those games are exclusive? Yeah. That's why they do it, man.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to go that far of casual, the casuals aren't even watching this shit. They're just reading some of the notes that happen after. Because I know some casuals, and they're like, "Yeah, I just read whatever I see on some of the main pages I visit."
Yeah. You're talking about real casual. I guess we should.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're
like,
right, Adam. Thank you for that. I guess we should say like middle, because how many times, even last year, it was like, "Yo, is Dragon Ball exclusive to Xbox? It was at the conference. It must be exclusive." You know, so it definitely tricks people. You know.
Oh, the commercials still trick people when you see them on TV. When it says PlayStation or Xbox logo at the end, they're like, "Oh, I guess it's exclusive." Yep, they're only releasing people on PlayStation.
You can call them casuals, or like even just people who are just fans of one certain console.
Yeah,
like they probably think, "Oh, shit's coming for Xbox only."
You know. I always tell this story. You know how many times I've been to GameStop and people are like, "Yo, man, I wish Call of Duty was on PlayStation." It's like they believe it. They thought it was on Xbox last generation. You know, because of the commercials.
Those damn commercials. There's some people they just don't know.
You know, so we don't need to get too deep into this. They obviously do. They obviously trick some people. You know, that's just a fact. All right. Next up.
Oh wait.
Go ahead,
brother. Thing with that though, also I heard, maybe you guys. Well, you probably know more than because you get a lot of these codes. That when they have these partnership deals, let's say like Call of Duty's PS4, right? And they show the commercials. That the promo copy that they send for reviews is the PS4 version. That they don't send, like, let's say the Xbox one, because that's not their.
You can request it. You can request the Xbox.
You have to request it. That's not what they send, right? Default is going to be whoever.
No, they always ask beforehand. They always ask before. Yeah. There's no default. They always ask you beforehand. Which copy do you want?
Yeah.
You know.
They don't pick and choose unless they just ask what your preference is. Sometimes in varied occasions they'll send you multiple ones, where you'll get an Xbox or a PlayStation one.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna repeat this man's name in here, but we're gonna talk about it. Death Stranding in a little bit, dude.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Again, because we getting a bunch of shit. Okay, Spacey's Pleasure Yacht. All right, so his first question is, what are your most anticipated games that were shown at E3? All right, Manny.
Last of Us 2.
Oh, yeah, okay, go ahead, Carlos. Last of Us 2.
The Last of Us 2 is my most anticipated game. That's probably the best game that I saw in the whole show. Ghost of Tsushima, Control. There's a lot of games. Freaking Cyberpunk. What else? Fallout.
For Cyberpunk, right? There's still
no, there wasn't.
So I don't even want to get excited for something like that.
Yeah, and I was kind of upset how people behind closed doors were getting to see footage of the game, and they're talking about it. I'm like, why? Why can't we see this shit?
We didn't get to see it either.
Well, here's the thing. I could have watched it, but I had literally no time in my schedule. But I could have, your boy, man. I could have easily gotten in that shit. But I just did not have time for it,
Yeah.
But by the way, Carlos, that was the talk of the show. Like everybody I talked to was like, "Yo, son, this shit was crazy." They apparently had like a 50-minute hands-off demonstration of it, and everybody I saw went fucking nuts. So
by the way, that Cyberpunk was a D&D style RPG, don't you know? Right?
Yeah, but anyway, it's any other games, Carlos?
Oh, there's probably more, but those were the main ones.
All right, Brett, what were your most anticipated games?
Is my mic muted? I've been here for a minute.
No, I know you have, but you said that you didn't like the fact that they showed Cyberpunk behind closed doors, but quickly say why and then list your favorite games.
Oh no, I'm just pissed and confused about it. I don't know why they would do that, especially with how hot it was. But most anticipated after seeing the show, or what I was anticipating that they did show.
Yeah, the games that they did show.
That I was already anticipating. I mean, it was great to see more of Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I was already sold on that game, but it was pretty good to see that. Ghosts I wasn't anticipating, but now I am. Shadows Die Twice. I was anticipating that game, and now even more so am. But the biggest ones though that they got me were Fallout 76 and Control, which I wasn't anticipating either of those. But now I bought the whole seat. I only need the edge.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Brian, what about you, man? Mr. Brian.
I think he said he'll be right back. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All right,
I think
Chris.
he's
Chris.
So Shadows Die Twice, Spider-Man, Just Cause 4, Dying Light 2 looked pretty hot. I'm looking forward to that. Of course, The Last of Us 2, that was the shit. And Resident Evil 2. Because I honestly didn't think they were going to show that there. Now I see that remake, I'm like, give it to me.
And it has a date.
Yeah, it's January, man. Because February, your wallet is gone.
Am I the only? Are me and Brian the only ones that are dubious for Last of Us? I want to hear what Tony Manning say.
Oh yeah, I'm hyped as a motherfucker. I'm ready. Manny's he's gonna give his answer, but he's not on that hype train though.
That shit just looks too good to be true.
No, I'm not.
No, it's Naughty Dog. I fucking believe
we
it.
talked about that during
no, that's not.
Show.
There's no fakery going on. That shit
Everybody got all mad at me because of what my comments about that game the last time, and I still continue with that sort of thing. I don't want to go back into that world. I'm sorry. Last of Us ended the way it should have, and I don't need to go back. And that's it. I mean, as much as that game looked good, I don't want to go back there. Don't want to go back there. I want a lighter game, to be honest.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that answer. That's a valid, response. Perfectly cromulent, as they say on the Simpsons.
Then we got to use that for a segue because that's what happened with me, and that's why I wound up getting sold on Spider-Man, because it's like, yeah, Last of Us looked amazing, but same thing. I'm not sure I'm hyped on going back to that world. Like, I got the remaster, and I was like, oh, this is beautiful, and I did like an hour, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done. This doesn't need to be revisited, and. It's like, I'm just not hyped on it. And when I saw Spider-Man, it looked fun. It looked like, in my mind, we haven't seen the open world yet, but in my mind, I'm like, this is probably what I want when I'm like, I just want to play something light. I don't have much time. I just want to swing around, help some people out, stop some crimes. I think this is going to
Hold on, I need to stop everything right now. I just want people to realize that this is supposedly the pony cast, and 4 out of 7 guys are not hyped for this game. I want you to remember that. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
how many guys were happy about God of War though?
What happened?
Was I hyped about God of War?
Manny, you're not really hyped for anything though.
Everyone but me and Manny were not hyped for God of War.
No, Brett wasn't. He said I don't get why people are hyped about this game.
Then he played it.
It's Shadows of Mordor me. I'll be honest.
So, by the way, like the whole Spider-Man and Last of Us, I mean, they're just 2 completely different games, and
they are 2 completely different.
And that's the point.
That's the point.
Yeah, but no,
yeah. I don't want to play a Last of Us style fucking Spider-Man game where he's like ripping people's throats out.
One-liners. Well, I gotta speak for Brian a little bit.
That would be a Deadpool game, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. That's exactly what that would be, and I would play the shit out of that game. No, I think I'm with Brian. Like, my fear is that a lot of the game looked so cinematic that one of 2 possibilities come out. That it's either constantly taking control away from the player, so that it can do these cool cinematic things. It's basically a quick time with that, where just an input at the beginning that isn't shown on the HUD, or that this is a lot of pre-rendered footage, because I cannot believe that combat is as dynamic as they make it look. And if it is, like, oh my god.
It is, though. It is.
I think it's just not showing the QTE thing, but behind the scenes, it's there, and that's what it's doing.
That's what I think. And that's disappointing
too. But remember, if you play that exact segment that you saw in the trailer, you're going to get a different outcome, just based on where you're placed.
Oh, no.
The difference between, like, there's a certain kind of feedback that I like in most games, and any game with melee combat especially, and they're the games that you kind of you press an intro sequence, or your assassinate button, and you go into essentially a QTE without the heads up, the little icon on it. And I'm afraid that's what this is, that you just press X at the right time and it goes into like this almost little cinematic thing. So you're not actually feeling like you're stabbing this guy in the throat. You're just countering the way that you do in Assassin's Creed. And that creates kind of a discrepancy. It disconnects you, or at least me, and I think Brian too, from what he was talking about, from the action. So that's the thing that makes me really nervous about this, is that it looks so built around being cinematic that it only looks to me like I might be half playing it.
Yeah, I could understand where that's coming from. I mean, granted, the original Last of Us also had the same thing. The gameplay that they showed on that was also seemed a little bit more too good to be true.
Mhm.
You know, the guards were doing stuff that they don't do in the actual game. So I feel like in a lot of ways, maybe they actually got all the AI to work, but I do think that in a lot of ways, being that it was gameplay, I think one thing to know about a lot of E3 demos is that even if they're gameplay, they're also a contrived situation.
Yeah.
And when you walk to a certain point, certain things activate when you do certain things just to kind of give it life. And I wouldn't be surprised if the actual game does not do all the same things that it did in this trailer.
Well, it probably won't, because another person was playing that game and you're playing this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
yeah, exactly.
There's this one scene where Ellie is running from everyone, and then she picks up a what's it called, a beer bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and throws it at someone, and it seemed like really seamless, but someone might not have the intuition to try to
pick up the beer bottle.
Yeah,
just keep running.
Exactly. So it's like a lot of these probably you'll never see, because I don't think most people will try to emulate that exactly how it is, but I'm pretty sure you can if you tried.
Yeah, exactly. Like that scene where they were like, it looked like a bodega or something. Like, what if I decide, hey, I'm going to fight him outside? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be dynamic in that way. You know?
But I also call into question any sort of E3 video game footage, supposedly live video game footage, for one reason. Again, like I've seen I watch a lot of those kind of like YouTube channels that kind of pick up like old builds of games, and one of them these guys got was, I think it was for Call of Duty Ghost or something like that, where like essentially it was a game that was built, but it was only built if you stand in if you go to certain locations, all the different elements in the environment move to where they're supposed to. So you essentially just walk a specific trail, and it always reproduces the same effect. So it's not a pre-rendered piece of footage, but it is a triggered sort of gameplay, and that's what I think maybe a lot of people are calling into question in this specific Last of Us trailer, where essentially when Ellie walks to a certain point, that's when all the soldiers are automatically go walking into one direction. They always walk in the same rows. All that.
Yeah, but that's every.
Yeah,
what
for
about
E3
when she
though.
went under the truck or the car or whatever, and you hear that conversation, and then somebody looks down? It's like, that looks like it could be all missable.
It could be. That's what I think too.
It
Yeah.
definitely could be missable at the same time. But I also think that for that specific, to show that specific trailer, I think they can't go anywhere but there to trigger those events to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's
By the way, we still haven't fully answered this question yet, so we're gonna have to go down the line here. You know?
So yeah, like
good conversation though, but
favorite games of E3.
Yeah.
For me, I want to say I'm most excited for Ghost of Tsushima. I'm gonna say I really like the way Control looks. It's always fun to have a Remedy game to have out there. They make cool games. And let's see. And I'm always excited to see Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Notice that there was something missing from there.
Death Stranding?
Ninja
Yes.
Turtles?
Why was that, Manny?
Oh no! We got a question about that.
Yeah, we do. Brian, are you ready to go now?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, on the whole, I'd say Cyberpunk, as I just lost my shit. You guys see me like on the live stream. I actually like stood up because I actually was laying in bed. I was like, oh shit, okay, Cyberpunk 2077, it's time to go now. You guys all know me. I'm not being excited for pretty much most games, but in terms of games I actually showed gameplay of, I'd have to say Just Cause 4.
Yeah, I remember you were going crazy over that tornado shit.
It was. You have actual weather effects in games now, so and hopefully it is dynamic and just happens at like random times, like how the Battlefield 4, what Battlefield 3 and 4 did, where you'd have like a map and then like suddenly like a snowstorm would happen or suddenly a sandstorm would just happen out of nowhere. I think that is like really really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
There's not much of that in games.
All right, I completely lost track here. Who hasn't gone yet?
I haven't gone.
All right, go ahead. What are your most anticipated games?
Anticipate Gears 5. That really, I was surprised to see any damn gameplay, and what they showed was very different than from what I know, and it looks like in a good direction. They're going with a deeper story, so that looked cool. Tactics, I'm big into the whole SOCOM and all that, and the XCOM, so that looks fun. Surprised that one's a PC exclusive. That is not coming to the Xbox, so I was like, all right, whatever.
Yo, man, was it part of the 18 exclusive games that they're supposed to announce?
Who knows? I just watched. I could care less. I just wanted to see what they had to show.
Couldn't care less.
Yes, thank you, Brian.
I could care less. Spider-Man. Spider-Man looked fun. That
Spider-Man.
Because you know how I am with
Spider-Man.
superhero movies and stuff, and so I wasn't sold on it, but this got me sold because I was like, what's funny? It got me sold in a way that it didn't show me what I want to see, but I'm assuming it will be there. And like I said, that open world experience of just swinging around, solving crimes in a beautiful environment with this awesome gameplay. That's what I'm hoping is going to be there. Because right now, all they've been showing us, to quote a wrestling term, it's high spots. It's big combat zones, big this, big that. It's like, that's great. Those are those big moments. But what's the filler? What's the world going to be like?
Me and Tony actually did play that game, and yes, you can swing around the city.
There you go.
Yeah, you can freely.
So
Really?
that's on my list. There was something else. That was shown.
Battlefield 5.
Nope, that wasn't it. Damn.
The fake skate game.
The fake skate.
No, but if you listen to the
Sessions?
reaction, I almost caught a heart attack. I had trouble breathing. I was skating.
You went all day, man.
Yeah, until we realized that was Session, which is a Kickstarter, and it's not the same game, and it's a sim. So that just burst that bubble. But
it's a sim, it takes place in the
you
Brooklyn
got it.
Heights.
The fact that you have to use your left foot with the left stick and your right foot with the right stick, and you use the triggers to turn and shit. No, I can't. That's too much. That's not that fun. So whatever. There goes that. But there was one. And of course, The Division. The Division. I'm not 100% sold because I feel like the world is too big and it's not going to fill things up. Like, that was the thing with the regular Division, is that you had all these buildings and you had alleyways and car parking lots, all kinds of places to explore. This was just like open field, maybe sporadic buildings here or there. I'm hoping there's more tunnels or something, because if not, then it's Wildlands.
Yeah, there's more. They're gonna have, not only are they gonna have like the suburbs of Washington D.C., but they're also gonna have the forests. So get ready. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. I was like, this is a snippet. They obviously aren't going to showing us everything. I mean, the fact that a lot of people didn't even catch this, but if you look at the guys, they're already level 30. This is end game stuff. They weren't even showing us like the campaign or what's going on or where we're placed. This was all game is done. Now what do I do? Because that was the issue when we went through it, when we beat the game. We were like, now what? Just Dark Zone? That's it. And it took time for them to realize, oh shit, we got to create all this other content. They fixed it up. It's beautiful. Me and All Day Digital been going back, clearing up the Dark Zone. Yo, I'm at 90%, man. I'm gonna get that plat soon.
My man.
90%. We've been going hard in the Dark Zone. But it's, they fixed it, and they keep talking about, hey, we're gonna fix this. We've heard the community. So
is that the name of your new single? Going hard in the Dark Zone?
Going hard at
Dark Zone, baby. Let's go. Yeah, all right. Let me jump in here because I don't think I went.
There's a joke there. There's a big joke there.
I have a list here too. My favorite games. And these are ones I played. Spider-Man, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That was interesting. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. They only had it on mouse and keyboard. I'm like,
why?
I don't know, because it was the fucking PC version. They said it was easier for them to just have mouse and keyboard than have controllers. That's what they told me, But
Are you kidding me? That's BS. I call BS.
But Brett, the final game's gonna have controllers. Don't worry about that. But the game looked fucking dope. Me and Tomb Raider though. What else did I play there? Resident Evil 2 obviously was fucking crazy. Mega Man 11
How
was.
did that look? Because we just saw a video.
Resident Evil
How
2
did
looks
that-
fucking legit. It looks crazy. It's the Resident Evil 7 engine, man. Ooh, boy. Get
That's the
fucking
first Resident
ready.
Evil I'm excited for in a long time. That is
Are
the
you
best
first
one.
person? Can you switch to first
No,
person?
it looks like Resident Evil 4 camera angle, you know?
Okay.
I'm fucking ready. Son, get ready. It's fucking nuts. Mega Man 11,
Is your body ready?
Yeah. Yes, Hitman 2 was really good. Here's a big one for me. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I lost my fucking mind playing that shit, you know? Adam, I'm going to surprise you. Division 2.
Oh,
I
you jumping
played
in
that
again
shit.
with that? We're getting the band back together.
Yeah, I played that shit. I'm like, motherfuckers got me, man. Motherfuckers got me. That shit was fucking lit. Because we were playing, you remember that same scene you guys showed where Air Force One? We played that shit. And here's the thing. They let us play twice. Because the thing is, our team fucked up the first time. They could play that shit again. So then we won the second time. I'm mad at myself because I'm actually hyped for this. It's fucking stupid.
You mad?
Yeah, and here's some stuff I just watched. I didn't have any hands-on stuff. Control was really good. Dying Light 2, I think they got me again, you know.
Shit, Ninja Batman!
Yeah, let's go. Just Cause 4, yeah, you know, I mean, I didn't really like Just Cause 3. It was like, what's the point of this? But that hurricane or tornado was fucking crazy. So I think just because of that alone, I may have to give this game a shot. You know, but I'm still wondering. It's like because to me, Just Cause 3 was basically Spider-Man 2. It's like, yeah, great mechanic. The rest of the game is kind of trash. You know, but we'll see about that. But yeah, those are my anticipated games. And with that, we're gonna move on to the next question. What games? What's up? Didn't you go, Brett?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
By the way, he did. He said Fallout.
you did go. I knew I wasn't wrong.
No, I didn't. I said that last week.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Brett.
Oh no, it is Fallout though.
Son of a bitch!
I see I can get Tony with the same one though. These motherfuckers all fell for it when I said Spider-Man on the last show.
Yeah.
But no, it's other than the obvious, it's got to be Control, man. I am super stoked for this.
I'm fucking ready for Control.
Yeah,
I lost my mind when I saw that shit. You know? Or you like, excuse me? I'm ready.
Come on, baby.
It's a Metroidvania psychic game.
Quantum Break, I'm done. I need that shit right now. That was my biggest surprise game of the fuck. I didn't know it was coming. I was like, what is this shit? You know, and then when I found out that for my 505 appointment, that was one of the games I was going to be looking at. Forget about it, because that was one of the...
You heard the noise from Inception?
Yes. Because you know how when they send you those emails like, hey, unannounced game, I'm like, whatever. Who gives a fuck? Woo. All right,
you know,
man.
movies when they drop the depth of the shot and they kind of zoom in on the character at the same time. That's what happened to Tony.
Yeah,
just the
pretty
background
much.
just dropped 30
Yeah,
feet.
just went, you know. Okay, this is a fun one. What games that were shown look like potential flops? Oh, man.
We
Flops?
don't know the answer to that.
I don't know if I want to answer this.
I could answer.
I didn't really see anything. I mean, you could answer, but I didn't really see anything that looked like, oh my god, that's going to be fucking shit. Yeah, I didn't really
Death
see anything.
Stranding. Death
What?
Stranding.
Man, I'll come over there and slap the shit out of you, man.
I'll tell you what. It looks beautiful and it's all, but then it's like it also looks like a walking sim. And he even confirmed it. He's like, "Yeah, combat's optional." And I'm like,
Yeah, that's a Metal Gear. Though Metal Gear is like that. Combat is kind of optional in there
I
too.
don't know, Tony. I think he has a point. Of all the people that I know that are Kojima fans and that were looking forward to Death Stranding, about half of them said they don't really care anymore now.
Interesting. I'm still hyped as a motherfucker.
I know you are, but there are a lot of people.
I can't say. I mean, I'm about the same as I was before. I don't know what I saw, and I don't know what I'm waiting for the real stuff to come.
Manny, were you expecting this conference to show sort of?
I was expecting.
Yeah, that was a disappointment. I wanted some actual real gameplay. Ghost of Tsushima showed you gameplay. Last of Us showed you gameplay, and Spider-Man showed you gameplay. Ghost of Tsushima showed you in-game shit. They didn't show you gameplay. That was very disappointing.
Well,
Anyway.
that is the playing. Just walk. Oh.
Yeah, but
no,
it's
I mean,
Kojima, so I'm still hyped. You know.
I'm not gonna say I'm high. I'm neither hyped nor I'm at medium level.
Man, you always are though.
I'm at that medium level. Sometimes the spikes happen, and the spike hasn't happened. So I'm just like, okay, I officially feel like I haven't really seen anything. I
Hold
kind
on.
of just.
Manny, just quickly, because Kala says it doesn't have Shinkawa art. I thought he did do the art for that game.
Yeah, he did do the art for that game.
Yeah, so I don't know what you're talking about.
He was even sitting in the fucking room. Why would he even be there?
He got free tickets. He was in the neighborhood.
he designed the damn suit that Norman Reedus is fucking wearing in the game. Anyway,
he designed the Death Stranding.
He designed the Death Stranding. Well,
go
anyway,
ahead, Manny.
Like, yeah, for that game, it's just like it's just a level. I feel like I haven't seen anything. I'm kind of glad that they're not doing the Metal Gear Solid 5 thing where they literally show you every single cinematic or trailer, and when the game comes out, you're just kind of clicking check marks. But at the same time, I do feel like Kojima was like, yeah, I wanted to show gameplay, but yeah, what was that? Was that what you do? You walk around and pick up things? You're a delivery man. We could just call it mailman simulator.
That's what he kept saying. I just deliver things. Don't you want to help? I just deliver things.
And it has that stealth mechanic too as well.
It's got the stealth mechanic. It's essentially PS4 new Metal Gear type of game. We'll see. I mean, again, New Gear. Yeah, it's definitely a survival game. Where you have to. I doubt that's gonna.
It's not gonna be episodic. By the way, I'm gonna be real. If this is a real survival game, I don't give a fuck if it's by Kojima. My enthusiasm is gonna go down. I don't like survival games.
No, not survival in the sense that you have to eat and drink. Survival horror.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. If it's like I gotta craft shit and eat, I'm like, okay, Kojima, you fucked up right now.
I think a lot of the stuff that you're doing in that game is as Kojima had said before, it is. You can choose to collect things and make things better for yourself, or you can choose to just blast through everything and kill everything. You know what I mean?
Like Alien Isolation.
Yeah, it's like that. I get, to be honest, I get a bit of the Martian feel from it, where you're just kind of stuck in this desolate wasteland, and you literally have to kind of find all the different things to make your life a little bit better. That's why if you notice, the suit that he wears kind of changes and gets better. Or throughout the trailer, because you can also I'm sure you can get better outfits or better suits to help you get through things. So one of his suits had like a water thing, so when he was drowning in the water, it deflated and stuff. So I'm thinking that's also part of it too.
I thought it was just more stuff that he was carrying. Like he goes in one area, like, all right, here's this new stuff I need you to deliver. By the way, you're gonna need this for this mission. Okay, thanks. That's what I thought it was. It was like,
by the way, we were asked about what do you think about this training. I think we're already answering it now. So continue. Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting, but again, it's more of the same sort of stuff that we're kind of getting from these Death Stranding things. Hopefully, at TGS, we'll see something a little bit more significant.
Gameplay, motherfucker.
Something a little bit more significant than just, the Bionic Woman, which, by the way, totally got lost on people.
Oh, no, because nobody's gonna know who Lindsay Wagner is.
Nobody knows who Lindsay Wagner is. They literally gave her like the super shot, like where she turns around and she's all young. Yeah, but I'm like, yo. Kojima, nobody remembers who that is.
I said that while we were.
He grew up liking it. It's like, I want to put them in my movies.
I said it during the stream. Nobody knew what I was talking about.
Yeah, Lindsay Wagner.
Bunch of young bucks, man.
I mean, to be honest, there was earlier in the trailer there was a little gimme for when Lindsay Wagner showing up. That picture that he drops on the floor. I'm like, it's a picture of older Lindsay Wagner with Norman Reedus. I'm like, oh, okay, she's in the game. And then she turns around. Oh, I'm young.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to the phone who's in the chat. He goes, Kojima said you can't power through the game with shooting. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, sticks and ropes. That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Dude,
and then also he's not a Walking Dead fan.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brett.
I get a very Hellblade vibe from this. It's a game that bends reality. It tricks the player, but it's very straightforward and narrative, and I think the reason that we haven't seen a lot of gameplay is it would literally probably just be more of the same kind of shit that we had already seen. It's about building tension and ambiance, and that doesn't really make for great trailers or reveals. So we're probably going to see a lot of cinematics, but even then, just really obscure, vague stuff because he doesn't want to ruin the story. It's kind of a really difficult place to sell a game at. But yeah, be prepared for a slow, methodical, horrifying, harrowing walking simulator that will leave you questioning reality, because that's pretty much what this is going to be. I think that is a flavor that not a lot of people are necessarily looking for. And like, yeah, the existentialism and the reality bending, like that's all well and good. A lot of this is not a feel good game.
No.
Yeah, you could tell that. That shit's not going to be a walk in the park, you know. All right, I want to move on here. Okay, I think we already answered this question. Okay, this is from Michael. I'm gonna ask the question as he wrote it, and we're gonna decipher what this means. I think we already answered this, but I'm gonna just read it. What was your game at E3 that won for best showing? Does that mean our favorite game?
I think he's trying to say which one looked the best. Like, wow, they did an amazing presentation, whether it's the gameplay package or just the overall.
Oh yeah, no,
wait, hold on. We didn't answer. Hold on. I'm my bad, people. My bad.
I missed the flops question.
We didn't answer the flops one. We started talking about fucking Death Stranding. Okay, flops. Chris, what games do you think are going to be flops?
Command & Conquer Mobile.
Yeah, way to pick the low-hanging fruit, Chris.
Something for it to flop.
Fuck.
How about FIFA 19? You know, because Champions League. How about all of anything EA talked about? How about Anthem? Yeah. The whole EA conference is a flop.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a pretty good. Anything that EA touched.
That
agree with Anthem.
Besides Sea of Solitude and Unravel, which I hope do well, the rest of their shit can go to hell. That's what I hope.
Well, hey, Unraveled was out that day, so.
Yeah. Well, I hope it does well. That's what I mean. Yeah.
They also surprised an audience that we rarely hear about, and that's people that are into hockey, because they were like, "Where was the NHL 2019?" They announced everything else except that.
Yeah, you want to hear something? They didn't announce it, but it was literally there.
It was.
Yeah, it was in the EA Plays thing.
Stay. I guess it's just a clone of 18. So.
Yeah. All right. Let's just go down the line because we got more questions. Manny, flops.
Flops? All of EA Plays.
Damn.
With the exception of Unraveled. Yeah.
All right.
That thing was just a piece of shit. Damn. And next year we are not coming in early for that shit.
Wait, I'm not coming in early. I'm coming in on Saturday, but I ain't coming in for EA.
We don't need. But every fucking year EA shows a piece of shit. They've done it for fucking 5 years.
Yo,
it's always been the same shit.
This was my joke. I'm like, I went to EA's press conference and all I got was this lousy sunburn. It's like fucking nuts. Anyway,
it was garbage.
Yeah,
garbage.
All right, Carlos.
Dreams.
Ooh.
It's this game. Like, I don't even know what the hell is up with this game. Like, it's been showed and it was prominent within the press conference with the Sony's press conference, and it's like, okay, so are we gonna get anything to even care about presenting this game to a mass audience? Like, and it's one of it's what's their name, the Little Big Planet people,
Media Molecule.
Media Molecule.
Yeah, Media Molecule's games are really hit and miss for the most part.
That is true.
Dreams, I think it's going to be a flop.
All right, Brian, flop.
Oh, I was gonna say Days Gone, but it wasn't at E3 like that, so.
It was at E3. It was just behind closed doors and shit. I'm kind of annoyed about that.
They showed it in the intermission barely too.
Yeah, one of my friends. I'm not gonna. Yeah, he played the game. He thought it was legit because he played it last year and he thought it was bullshit, but he really liked it this year. But yeah, behind closed doors.
Oh, Dr. Evil. Oh, Dr. Evil. I think this is more guaranteed to be a flop. Yo, you want to say it, Tony?
I'm gonna say it. Crackdown 3.
Oh,
dun, dun, dun.
Oh shit! Shots fired.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's my answer. Thank you.
Don't you have to expect something for it to be a failure?
Oh,
what do we expect? Something.
Hate. Just a thing. God damn. All right, Brett, flop.
Anthem. It's been nice knowing you, BioWare.
By the way, that's another one. Playable behind closed doors.
Yeah.
I was fucking pissed about that.
Instance.
I was pissed. From what I heard, it was actually pretty hyped. But, I didn't play it. I'll talk to you guys about that shit after. I'm kind of annoyed about that whole situation. All right.
Yeah, so was Destiny. And look what that has ended up.
Destiny ended up being one of the biggest sellers of the generation. So, there you go.
But how many people actually give a damn about the game now?
There's still some, believe it or not.
You want to hear
the game has fallen off.
No, it definitely has fallen off, but it's still making money, man. It's still making money.
You want to hear some shit though? When we were at the Sony booth, Sony only really had like 3 games demoed: the Battlefield game, Spider-Man, and Destiny. And Battlefield and Destiny, you needed to have like that stupid app to kind of log in, but nobody was at the fucking Destiny thing. It was the emptiest booth you would ever see. They had all these stations and nobody was there.
Meanwhile, you had to wait 4 hours to play Smash Brothers.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, it's definitely falling off. But you know, Activision has laughed themselves to the bank. You know, Adam, flop.
Flop. I gotta go with either. Well, I was never really too hyped on Death Stranding, but yeah, Anthem. When they went in depth on it, I'm like, not only was that boring, but I was like, oh wow, now you're just ruining it for yourself because this does not look original. You know, it just didn't do anything for me. I was like, I don't want this. This is not what I expected. It was
I don't
gonna be, so.
like.
Yeah, I think everyone that was reacting to it, other than All Day, was like, we're like, wow, this looks really generic.
Yeah, when I
very
went to the
generic.
EA thing,
Iron Man.
when I went to EA, like they had a thing there. There was a fucking line for it. Turns out it was just hands off. You just watch a presentation. I'm like, come on, son, waste my time with that shit. You know?
Yeah, it had that Destiny feel also. Like at first, I thought the voice coming inside his head was like one of the teammates. I was like, no, he has his own little AI robot shit or something. I'm like, oh, that sucks.
He has his own what is it?
A ghost.
Exposition sputer.
Yeah, he has a ghost from Destiny. You know. All right. Okay, so let's go back to this other question. So, are we going to take it as what game had the best looking graphics? Is that how we're going to interpret this thing?
I thought it means like just like the best presentation, as in like they presented it well on stage.
That's what I'm getting.
Okay,
the way that we said Microsoft won for presentation, but not necessarily for content. Like,
okay, so
gave the best presentation.
Okay, so how should I word this in the questions?
Which game presented the best presentation?
What game had the best presentation? Gotcha. All right, so let's go with that. What game had the best presentation?
Spider-Man.
I actually don't know how to answer this question. Like,
I gotta say Fallout. They came out with like a series of.
You do, Brent.
Hey, of course.
No. Okay.
Only just left more questions with Fallout. I would have went with Fallout if it wasn't for all the questions that we still have. Like with the base, can we rebuild? Can we move them?
So many questions. I mean, there were a million more questions. Okay, let's cut off the bit with Todd Howard at the end because nobody fucking needs that shit. But the rest of it, like they actually showed, like not just one, but like they showed like 20 minutes of goddamn trailer and footage. I mean, that was significant. And I don't think any other game there came close to letting me see so much of the finished product and what I'm in for. And of course, there's still a lot of big questions, but they had video, they had the little Fallout cartoons, they had all the little swag things that you would expect, plus gameplay footage, plus basic demo, plus kind of a walkthrough of how multiplayer is going to work. And so it hit everything that I want to see when you're announcing a game, as opposed to, oh, here's just a trailer, or here's just a little bit of gameplay video. Like I don't like being kept in the dark, and they actually gave a shitload of information for one game. I mean, and that's probably because it dominated most of their conference, but still, that's what I want in a presentation, is to know as much about the game as possible. Show me your PR stuff, but also show me gameplay, also show me a demo, also show me, some live stuff going on, show off artwork. I want to see everything.
Yeah. All right. Since I kind of understand the question now, I'm gonna pick two. I don't know if that's cheating, but whatever. Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima. With Last of Us, obviously, they had us go in there. They had my man playing the banjo and shit. They had the Church of Sony, which was actually the same church that Ellie was in when she kissed that girl. And then Ghost of Tsushima, they had my dude, with the flute and shit. That was really cool with the backdrop. That was really cool. So I really enjoyed the way those two games were presented.
What was the point of showing Ellie kissing that girl?
You know why? Come on, Brett.
I know.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get it. We're not gonna get. We're not gonna get into it, but you know exactly why. Although I will.
That's why that's what knocked that shit off my list. Right.
Called a rhetorical question, Brett.
Yeah. Rhetorical question, but we're not gonna answer that. But again, I really like the way they set that whole shit up. It's like, oh shit, this is the same room she's in right now. This is crazy. All right, Manny, which game did you feel had a good presentation or the best presentation?
I would have to say Ghost of Tsushima had the best presentation. Nice. It definitely gave you. it did it the right way. Like they gave you that first trailer in, I think it was at the Gamescom they showed Ghost of Tsushima first or something like that, or
they revealed it. I think
they revealed. I know they revealed. They did a reveal trailer of it and stuff like that. But definitely this time around, it was like, you know what? We're giving you fucking gameplay. No runs around. They give you an idea what you can do. It looks like it's kind of an open worldish sort of game. With obviously, definitely more story based sort of stuff. So it looked cool, and I think they had the best presentation of it.
All right, Chris.
I'd say Last of Us 2 and Spider-Man. Like Last of Us 2 had a great presentation. I didn't know what the barn was. I thought it was a church until the gameplay started. Like, oh, it's some sort of barn. They're having a folk dance. So I thought that was cool. While Ghost of Tsushima had, I did like how they set that up. I was way more impressed with what they showed off with Spider-Man. I know I'm biased. I'm sorry, it's comic books. I can't help myself.
Comics.
I am so freaking excited for Spider-Man. So yeah, I love that.
Nice. Carlos.
Gonna sound like a, I don't know. Is that, God damn it, I'm really bad with phrases, but I was gonna say I don't want to sound like a dead horse. Is that the correct phrase? Or
No, you're beating a dead horse. Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to sound like you're beating a dead horse.
Oh, okay.
And no one ever beats a horse. That's the thing.
You beat a dead horse. Anyway, go ahead, Carlos.
Yeah. So The Last of Us 2 for sure, but if I want to get creative, I'll say, and it's kind of towards the bigger conference's detriment, but Super Smash Brothers, because they really answered all the questions anyone could possibly have with that game. So they just presented everything. So yeah, that's it for me.
Cool.
They said everything's in this game.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Brian.
Because I'm not a Sony fan, I'd say Forza. Because I felt that it actually had a strong presentation. Like, they showed off the game, they showed off like different cars, they showed off that multiplayer slightly. They showed off that you can do like get-togethers and do challenges like on the fly.
Yo, Brian,
showed off the game.
Didn't you? I don't know if I remember this, but during the reaction, did you ask like, oh, I wonder if you can drive through the ice, and then they showed it like a little bit after that?
Yep, they literally answered the question that I had right there and then. So yeah, I'd have to say Forza.
Yeah, it was a good presentation.
All right. Adam.
Yeah, I think I said it was Spider-Man.
Okay,
for me.
Spider-Man.
Just because I really wasn't. That was not on my radar anymore. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And it just got me hyped. I was like, yeah, I can't wait. Looking forward to it.
All right, this is going to be an interesting one because we actually did not cover this conference. What did you guys think about the Nintendo press conference?
That wasn't a press conference.
Okay, the Nintendo fucking Direct. What do you guys think about that?
Super Smash Brothers conference.
It was sparse. Yeah, it's too sparse.
Yeah, that was horrible.
It was basically Pokemon and Smash Brothers. And honestly, like, even though they talked about the game in depth, like, it was just filler because they didn't have much else to talk about. Like, oh, let's go over the entire roster. Like, shit, really?
Yeah,
they started bragging about games, saying, "Oh, it's coming soon." That were announced last year, like Wolfenstein 2.
That shit triggered me, man. I felt like I was watching Naruto all over again. I was like, God damn, that fucking filler, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was man, it was pretty bad. I think it was I don't remember what I gave the score I gave it, but it was just above EA for worst conferences, because that shit was, I mean, the Let's Play Pikachu and Let's Play Eevee or whatever that shit's called, they did a whole conference like a few weeks before.
Yeah, just a week or two before. And that game is just Pokemon Yellow HD. That's pretty much it.
Yep, and we got that one game where Star Fox is on. I forgot what that game's called.
Well, that's Starlink from Ubisoft, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, was that on the Ubisoft conference, or was that Nintendo?
Mm-hmm.
That was
Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Yep. So
remember they gave Miyamoto the R link, and then they said go in the back for some ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a fun story about me and Miyamoto.
You and Miyamoto? What did you hold hands and skip through the?
Yeah, this is fun. Go ahead. This is fun.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, the LA Convention Center, there's two different levels. There's an upper level where they have a lot of meetings rooms, and there's a lower level where they have all the little games and stuff like that. So I was hanging out up there, just just kind of letting my feet, kind of heal from all the damn walking, and I just so happened to be sitting there, and I saw. So I was sitting there, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. So when I go to the bathroom, I see a Nintendo security guard. Way he knows that because he had a big Nintendo thing on there. I'm like, oh, I guess there's a Nintendo person here. Okay. So then I walk in, and then who do I see sitting there at the urinal, standing there at the urinal? Miyamoto. And the bathroom is full, and the only open space is between some other guy and Miyamoto. So I'm like, I look up and I'm like, okay, we're doing this. We're gonna pee next to Miyamoto. So go there. I do my thing. I'm looking up. I'm trying not to look at this guy because I'm like, this is just the most awkward situation ever. So get my business done, and I go wash my hands, and then that's it. But I mean, I'm like, oh come on, this is seriously.
You should have leaned over midstream and just whispered quietly, "Big fan, big fan."
Big fan. Man, he's like, yo, we're doing this. We're doing this.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, we're doing this. We're peeing next to Miyamoto. So then, as I'm leaving, I give the security guy the knowing nod, like, all right, then we're out of here. Because obviously that guy's watching to see if I'm gonna fucking choke the dude or whatever. I'm like, no,
I'll choke you out, man.
I'm gonna choke you out. You ruined fucking Star Fox on 3DS. Motherfucker. No. And also then that same level, I guess, again, like also on that same level, the area that I was saying, I also saw not long after that, so friggin' Reggie walk into the same fucking bathroom. I'm like, okay, I guess there's a Nintendo meeting room in that area.
So you get to
call BS on that, man. I call BS because everybody knows that Reggie's a robot made by Nintendo. He's not a real human. That's Westworld shit.
And the funny thing that happened with that one, because there as I was sitting there was a guy sitting next to me, just also again letting their feet kind of heal from all the walking, and he goes, "Hi, Reggie," and Reggie just doesn't even give this kid a look. Just continues walking, then he goes, "Bye, Reggie." I'm like, yo, kid, you don't get it. You don't exist to Reggie. No one here exists to Reggie. Unless you walk over to Reggie and say, "Yo, I am one of the top investors in fucking Nintendo." Yeah, then he knows who you are.
That shit is funny.
So you took a Wii next to Miyamoto, man?
I took a Wii next to Miyamoto.
All right. Anybody else? I don't have any input in this. I didn't watch the conference.
Or Miyamoto peeing.
You were also next to Miyamoto peeing.
Yeah, I don't have any Nintendo stories this year, unfortunately, people. All right, I guess nobody gave a fuck, so we'll move on here to the next question, which is also about Nintendo, and this one is from Solitary Zombie. I don't wonder who that is.
I wonder.
So she asked, here's something I was wondering about. Why didn't Nintendo say up front what they were bringing this year? Very good question. Actually, you know why?
Did they say they were doing Smash?
Because they probably don't have a lot.
Didn't they say they were doing Smash?
But I mean, what else? Like, think about it. What is it, like 3/4 of the thing was the fucking Smash? So
that's all it was.
Yeah. So why didn't they announce other shit?
Because Nintendo coasts off of very few titles. I mean, they release pillar.
Metroid.
Things. Well, Metroid's not going to be done yet. Like we talked leading into this that Nintendo's probably going to coast the next year on Smash Brothers and Pokemon, and that's exactly what's going on. They don't have a whole lot, and they have games and franchises like Smash Brothers and Pokemon coming up. They honestly don't fucking need to have a whole lot.
But no, they do, because see, their stock dropped exactly because of this. The investors saw that, right after the conference.
Yeah, right after.
Because that you can't coast up. If you say you have momentum going into the next year and you only show 2 games, one of which say a little over half of Nintendo fans don't really care about Smash Brothers, right? That is not a pillar title. Pillar titles are what they launched last year, like Zelda and Mario Odyssey. Those are pillar titles. Like you need a big franchise to carry you into next year. They don't have that. Pokemon, a remake of Pokemon might do well, but I don't think it will do as well on the Switch as the 3DS, just simply because of volume, right? Because of market share of the 3DS versus the Switch right now. You need that momentum. They didn't bring anything to show, so investors got kind of scared and their stock dropped, right? For exactly the fears I had that they didn't have momentum going into 2019, and they didn't show anything to give anybody any hope that they had momentum going into next year. So unless they're going to drop a direct in September or something like, oh, look at all Bayonetta 3 and all this shit, which they should have been showing and going, yes, we got stuff going into next year, you should hang in there and buy a Switch, but they didn't do that.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, we don't mean to toot our own horns here, but we call this shit a long ass time ago. Before even the year even started, we're like, yeah, Nintendo doesn't have anything for next year.
They don't,
Like any.
I figured they were just going to rely heavily on third party. That's pretty much it for this year. That's what I see.
Yeah, I think we pretty much answered this question. By the way, Barry Burns says, actually, he's
Fortnite.
quick question here. So Miyamoto had the best stream of the show.
Oh.
I'm gonna say this: I went in and out. Miyamoto was standing there for quite a bit longer than I was.
Hey, listen, man,
But
my
then,
man had to go.
but then again, Miyamoto is like 70 years old or 60.
He doesn't look it, man. That dude.
He looks a young ass of a motherfucker,
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't.
It's that pearl cream. Remember the pearl cream from the infomercials?
he hasn't hit what I call the Asian the Asian aging point. There is always that point where like an Asian person will always look young, and then all of a sudden, bam, they look like Master Roshi.
Yeah, there's no transition either. Like they go straight from like Asian girl, grandma.
That's kind of true of some Northern Europeans. It's like they look hot for a while, and then all of a sudden, damn, they look all fucked up.
Well, I mean, like the best example. Have you seen pictures of Jet Li recently? Just anybody?
No.
Oh no.
He looks horrible. He looks like an old man.
That happened to Jackie Chan. He aged all at once.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Jet
move
Li
on,
looks
guys.
worse than him.
Yeah, let's move on, guys. We still got a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
I think we're probably gonna go over 2 hours today, but let's see if we can do it under 2. All right, next up, All Day Digital, man. Again, shout out to my brother.
All day.
Right, so his first question is: was there any game that was completely off your radar that once you saw it became a day one purchase? Fucking Control, man. That was it. I was not expecting that shit.
That's trippy shit, man.
Yeah, man. Give me the cash.
Spider-Man. That was it.
No, but I knew that was coming. I was
Yeah.
hyped for Spider-Man before E3.
And we got gameplay before.
I know, but it didn't do it for me.
Yeah, it wasn't on Adam's radar
All right,
before
all
this.
right, that was okay. That was on your radar. Well, I mean, but we talked about it. Like it had to be somewhere in your scope. Like you knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming, but I just something about what I saw just then.
You didn't know you needed it until you saw that.
Until I saw this, and it was just more in depth, more of the action, and then just him playing. Before we saw a lot of the swinging around and the set piece, but this, I don't know, something about it, just the combat alone, and just seeing a lot of transitions and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
The combat is actually very it's actually a little bit difficult actually in that game. There's
Yeah, it
a lot
is.
of-
Yeah.
It can be. It is a little bit challenging, which is cool.
Does it feel like Batman?
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't feel like it.
No,
A
it
little
doesn't
bit,
feel
a
like that.
little bit, but not exactly. It's more challenging than Batman.
But it is as fluid as you think it is.
Yes.
Nice.
All right, Brett. What about you, man? What game caught you off guard this year?
I'd agree with you on Control, but Ghost of I can never pronounce that.
You just say Ghost. It's okay, man. Yeah.
You could say a Ghost of Kojima.
Oh,
No, you can say Ghost just for short. People know what you're talking about.
Ghost got me. That was one of those things I was like, whatever. I just kind of like kept hand waving it away because there wasn't really anything to get super excited about. And then, I saw the gameplay. I was like, oh shit. I need it. I'm day one, man. Also, Resident Evil 2. It's
Yes.
by far my favorite Resident Evil, and the fact that it seems to have gotten a full facelift, like top to bottom, while staying true to the source. I was like, no, like clearly they had to have fucked something up. Like they changed the whole story, right? Like no, it just looks like Resident Evil 2.
Hey, Brett, I have a quick question for you, man. How can Capcom get this right, yet Square can't get Final Fantasy VII right?
I don't know. I wasn't expecting Capcom to get this shit. But like, I was so dubious this one. I was like, no, Capcom had to fuck. Like, where's the current generation of the T-Virus that you're gonna ham fist back into Resident Evil 2? Like, no Plagueis in Resident Evil 2. You're just going back to. All right, let's do this shit. I'm down.
Yeah, and remember, this is a full from the ground up remake, and they got it out in time. They announced it like 4 years ago, and it's out already. You know, that's how you do it, Square. Just saying. You know,
had a full development cycle, stays true to the original source material,
and they were constantly teasing you with a shitload of trailers. They just announced it once, and then boop, it's out.
That's it. They said once, like, yo, we got this coming, and then that's it. And you didn't hear nothing for years, and all of a sudden, here you go, game's coming in February. Get ready. It's like fuck, you know. All right, Brian, what game caught you off guard?
Not really, and again, I wasn't really like keeping up with the news and keeping up with what's coming out, so nothing really caught me off guard because I didn't know what was coming out. Because then at E3, I just stayed completely like silent, so nothing really. But I guess in terms of games, I was not expecting, but did come out that excited me. I'd have to say Just Cause 4, as I wasn't really expecting like a fourth game because I don't know how well those games sell, but I'm pretty sure that they don't sell all that great. So yeah, Just Cause 4.
They obviously sell better than Hitman games because
Just Cause games actually do sell very well. They don't sell like crazy, but they always sell well enough.
Again, they obviously sell better than Hitman games because they didn't sell them off.
Yeah, that's a fact. You know, Carlos, go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to Jump Force because that shit looks fucking crazy. But the biggest one for me, and Brett already mentioned it, is the Ghost of Tsushima because that shit, like that was like Brett, that was off my radar, and then they showed the game, and I'm like, that's day one for me as well.
Really? That's a day one for you?
Yep. It's day zero actually.
Damn.
I'm sorry, that shit is a midnight release. I will be playing that shit at 1 a.m.
Adam, you were hyping up the game a little while ago, though.
Yeah, no, but I don't see it as like a number one for me. You know, it's not in that
It
category.
ain't Skate.
It's not Skate. But the thing is, it's also in that samurai thing. You know, I'm not thrilled like you aren't thrilled. I'm not thrilled by
Yeah,
that,
you know
but
what I'm saying?
fun.
Like that trailer.
You don't like Westerns?
No, Red Dead's day one. That's all day.
That's just like day negative one to Adam. I'm buying that shit, you know.
That game has dinosaurs, man.
Yeah.
One thing. What?
On
No,
my TV?
no, don't go
Red
there,
Dead
don't go there.
has Red Dead has dinosaurs.
Oh my god.
It's
Yeah,
based
that's
off the
it.
United States.
Then that means
There's
the
di-
dinosaurs are already underground. I'm just
There's
like tripping.
there's fossils.
Bone.
There's fossils in
It
that
don't
dirt.
matter. Don't matter. I don't have to hunt them. That's pointless because that never happened. We know that never happened. That's why I hate it.
What if there's an archaeologist class?
Caveman's
All
never.
right, we're getting off track here. Chris, Manny, did you guys go yet?
I need to say.
I didn't go yet.
All right, go ahead, Chris.
I'd say for me it was Resident Evil 2, man. I didn't think that game was happening. Honestly, there was all these rumors swirling around and stuff. I'm like, that shit ain't happening. Capcom ain't doing this shit. I was resigned to the fact that it was happening. Then they showed. I'm like, oh my god, it's real. You know, so that's on my radar. Also, another surprise I give runner up Neo 2. I didn't know that shit was even being made.
Yeah.
That's day one for you, man.
Yeah.
All right.
And I played that.
Yeah. Yes. See, that one caught me as I'm like, I didn't know they're making another one, but that's definitely not day one for your boy. You know, Manny, did you go?
I said, what was it, day one? That was
A game that caught you off guard that you won on day one.
Oh, I think I said it before, but I'm gonna say it again. Control.
All right, man. So next up,
All right, let's move on. Do I need to say Fallout 76, or was that just kind of implied?
it was implied, Brett. It was implied. Let's just be real here. Let's just be. Even though you knew, actually, no, you didn't know it was coming. Nobody knew it was coming. So yeah, that
We
counts.
knew
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh shit, like I didn't
No,
know.
we knew it was coming. We got a teaser before
Yeah.
you.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So that,
remember that
yeah.
thing?
Announced that was legit. They were like, yeah, it's true. We got this. It's coming. And then we saw the video.
And they're like, and
Okay,
we got
yeah,
Ron
you're
Perlman,
right.
and we got Ron Perlman back.
Boy. All right. Next next question. Where would you rank this year's E3 among the previous years? Very interesting question. I don't really rank E3s. I definitely liked it. I liked it more than last year, but it's not one of the upper echelon E3s either. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of middle E3 for me, you know? But it's definitely better than last year. Last year I wasn't feeling it too much. This year I actually played games. Last year people asked me, what'd you play? I'm like,
Nothing.
I just saw a bunch of shit, you know?
It's the best E3 in a while, and it's hard to sort of grade it against other E3s because we have like retroactively we can see what games came out. Like the year Scalebound was announced, it's like, oh, that was a crazy ass freaking reveal. But obviously now we know the game was canceled, so it's like not a big deal anymore. Like, and also, for example, when Sony announced Shenmue 3 and Final Fantasy VII
Those games ain't out.
like,
Last Guardian came out, but that's it. You know?
Yeah. So it's like it's hard to compare with previous years, but it's for me, it's the best. It's the best in the last couple of years. I will say that.
Yeah. All right, Chris. What about you?
Yeah, I'd say it's only slightly better than last year, but then it's hard because we kind of rate each conference separately.
Yeah.
So it's like EA might have possibly gotten like if there was a bottom of the barrel, they like punched through it into the sewer with this
Damn.
conference. Like it's got worse.
Should have brought Pele. Should have brought Pele. I'm telling you, man. I would have saved the show.
Yo, I was surprised he didn't pop out of that fucking trophy they were ogling on the stage, man. What the fuck? Okay, so, but Bethesda's show is pretty good. The beginning was kind of slow.
Yeah, that was bullshit. Yeah,
it ramped up later. Ubisoft was decent. They're pacing problems they always do, and they always have to promote Just Dance. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? What is this dance parade going on? This nonsense. But whatever. They had some. Cool
it makes
stuff.
money. That's why it makes fucking money.
That dancing panda, man.
You know.
Oh my God. Microsoft had a good conference. EA's 30 minutes of whatever, I didn't give a shit. And then Sony's conference stuff was great. So I'd say this edged out last year for sure. I don't know about past years. Don't ask me that rate. Like, what about 2015? I don't even remember. Fuck it.
Fuck you. All right, Carlos.
I went
rank that shit. Oh, you did? All right.
Yeah.
All right, Brian.
I don't really rank E3s because to me they happen, they're over, and I just forget about them.
All right, fair enough. Brett.
Better than the last couple years. It's kind of right where I would expect it to be. I judge E3s based on where in the console life cycle generation they are. You know, early in the console life cycle, they're usually really big and super fantastic, and then it drags for a few years, and then at the tail end, it kind of comes back up, and we see a lot of the games that have been in development for a good chunk of the console's life cycle. So we're right where we should be. And because of that, I think the nature of it is it's going to be better than it was the last couple of years, and I think that it was, but that puts it firmly about average at what I'd expect. So, meh.
All right, Adam.
Yeah, it depends. You know, it always comes down to the studio. You know, and for me, I mean, I felt like. Well, at least the company had to be from Microsoft. This was the best in a long time for Microsoft.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, so for them, this was not so much for the Sony, but the games were there. Just I didn't like that whole 30-minute delay. We're moving all this shit, but yeah, no. And EA just dropped the ball altogether. It's as if they didn't give a shit, and they were like, "Come up with something quick for this show."
Yeah, what were you saying, Brett?
I was saying, isn't that like saying this is the best shit sandwich I've had in a long time?
With Microsoft, right? Yeah.
No, no, that's
What you mean with E3?
EA. That's
EA. Yeah, that's you know what I'm saying.
EA, who actually said this is the worst shit sandwich I can remember eating. So that's
just didn't expect it to be this bad. Nobody did.
Oh no, for EA, I would say this is the worst shit sandwich EA has made in also the 5 years that they have been making shit sandwiches. Come on.
Yeah. By the way, Hocus Pocus says one of the funniest lines during E3 was when Chris said, "I'm throwing money at my TV and nothing's happening." Chris, what'd you say that for?
Yeah.
Was that Spider-Man?
Maybe.
No. It was I think The Last of Us.
It was either one. Yeah, I was like, I said I'm throwing my wallet at the TV.
Nothing's happening.
Yo, I think that was after I realized it was gameplay. Like, I'm like, that's a heads-up display. Yo, this shit is gameplay. Like, everyone was doubting. I'm like, no, this is fucking gameplay, man. I got so excited. I started throwing money out. Like,
you know,
I just kept asking the question over and over again.
Is that gameplay? Damn. I heard that clip a million times. That shit is hilarious. All right, next question from Mr. Kal-El, the last son of Krypton, man. So his question is, I guess this is for me and Manny. Did any of you guys play My Friend Pedro? I never even heard of this game until tonight, so that is a no. You know,
Really?
My
No one was talking about that at the.
I don't know what the is that a sequel to Papo and Yo? I don't know what the
it's
fuck
on
that
PC
is.
and Switch.
I'm on PC. Yeah, no, I never heard of it until tonight. I'm just being real. I didn't.
No,
yeah.
Here's the thing: like the Nintendo booth, if you were lucky, you could maybe possibly walk across it. It was that crazy. The lines were so bad that they were literally sold out a day before. Like they had these little tickets that you would get. You register one day, and you come back the next day to do it. Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah, I'm just being real now. If it wasn't at a press conference I attended or a game I had a schedule for, I don't know about it. The only one I knew about was Cyberpunk because everybody was fucking talking about it. You know, even though I didn't experience it.
Being at the show,
but little indie games like that, that's obviously going to go under the radar. You know,
being you know, and also not to mention that the show, I have to say it's also shrinking. As much as everybody's like going to the show, a lot of the developers are not even on the show floor. Like there was a time, like, you know, when we first started going, where E3 you could run into those diamond in the rough sorts of games from different developers, even developers taking their own booths. This time, there is literally in the second hall, there was empty sections of that hall, just like where there was nothing there. You didn't see it. I mean, granted, you know probably didn't go, but yeah, there's empty sections. Some of these like shit, like fucking Take Two Interactive. They had a prominent spot right next to like fucking like Square Enix or some shit, but you couldn't get in their booth. They built a fucking building that had doors and stuff like it. Like in other words, they built a villa inside of this room that no one can enter.
Yeah, that's only for press and industry people. Like I remember that they did the same shit last year.
Well, no, because last year they had the friggin' what's that game, and they had that one little like it looked like Louisiana. They actually had something there.
Oh, and they showed Mafia.
Yeah, it's showing Mafia.
Oh, I'm talking about last year. Mafia was 2 years ago. Like the Take-Two booth, I was like, because I was surprised. I'm like, why is this thing taking up so much space when regular people can't even go in there?
Yeah, why even bother Take-Two? Seriously.
Yeah, I mean it's a nice place to hang out, but yeah, it's weird.
It's a nice looking place, but you know, from the outside, and then they have all these dumb windows in there. I'm like, why did you build a building inside of a building? Seriously.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna move on here. Next question from Miguel Perez. This one's for Brett actually. How excited are you for Elder Scrolls, dude?
I'm stupid excited for Elder Scrolls. I've been a huge Elder Scrolls fan ever since Morrowind, I want to say. I don't know why I act confused by that. No, I know for a fact it was Morrowind because I played hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of that game. I'm really especially excited for this new Elder Scrolls because I'm pretty sure it's going to have the Fallout building mechanic in it. There's really no reason not to. The whole system actually started in Skyrim, and then it was made, you know, full feature in the game. So I expect to see the building system return in a full-fledged type fashion and not quite as janky. I mean, it's Bethesda, so it's going to be kind of janky. And who the fuck doesn't want to build a castle, really? Like, and that really made my Fallout experience that much better. It was a reason to go out and collect scrap metal and fight those bandits. Because after a while, you kind of start murdering everything, and everybody plays Skyrim the same way. Like the first Elder Scrolls, well, Skyrim the same way. They start out really excited and, you know, clawing through every nook and cranny and crevice, and then, you know, 50 hours later, you're like, whatever, throw this armor into the fucking river and just go on. Who do I have to kill? Just murder everybody. Fireballs everywhere. So you kind of hit this power creep, this Super Saiyan power creep, where at a certain point you're just blowing away whole villages and completing the quest. Then it just kind of becomes about checking the boxes off. The building mechanic adds another layer to the game and kind of creates a repeating cycle where you go out and you fight and you come back and craft. And it's an addictive cycle because you go fast and then you go slow and then you go fast and then you go slow. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about we finally hit the point where they can do graphics and engine stuff. So I'm hoping that they expand a little bit on some of the features that they've maybe cut out. I know that's really highly unlikely, and they'll probably go the opposite direction, but I would like to see more physics-based stuff. I would like to see more freedom of movement kind of stuff. I'd like to see the magic system expanded. And this thing it's been such a long gap that I'm pretty sure that Bethesda has had time with, you know, all of the modding to sit back and see what players are really looking for. They've had shitloads of time to collect data on what are the most popular mods and what people are responding to the most. So I am fully anticipating this to be a very good Elder Scrolls. And the fact that they're not really brushing it out and that it's coming out for next gen tells me that they're doing some stuff that you just can't do on current gen systems. So that also makes me really excited.
Cool. All right. The last two questions are pretty much for me and Manny here. So first one is Sam Walton. He goes, did you guys happen to hear any rumblings of how close we actually are to the next generation? I did not. A lot of talk, obviously, a lot of speculation, but no official anything, you know. And let's just be real. Even if we did hear anything, we couldn't say anything. But I'm just being honest, I didn't hear anything. A lot of talk, obviously, because you had Microsoft talking about next gen, you had Bethesda talking about next gen, so people were naturally talking about next gen. But there was no like behind the scenes stuff that I heard personally about next gen, you know.
No, I mean,
you can infer.
What happened?
There's a lot of stuff you can infer. I mean,
oh yeah, but even inferring stuff, Brett. You know, because you know,
I'm not saying you. I'm telling him. I'm saying there's a lot of information out there, like the fact that there are games in development for the next generation of consoles already, which means that there are already, you know, as we touched on in one of the earlier podcasts, there are some kind of dev or spec kits in developers' hands right now for the next generation of consoles. And there are games in production cycle that are already being developed as launch for the next generation. So while that's not like a firm date, that really does tell you quite a lot if you think about it that way.
Yeah, but yeah, I heard, you know, this is not related to next gen, but I heard some talk about some peripherals coming down the line that should be pretty cool. But about proper next gen, not yet. You know, we'll see though. You know, but it's coming though. It's coming. You already know. Go ahead.
Can I ask if you think that do you think next E3 will be when they announce it, or do you think it will be the E3 after that? Because
again, I don't think Sony's not gonna, actually neither Microsoft or Sony are gonna announce their shit at E3. They're gonna do their own thing, just like they did for this generation. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. I don't think.
Time wise, I guess what I'm saying is, you think we'll probably hear it announced next year, right?
No, I think we're gonna, because the thing is with Sony, I believe the year they announce it is going to be the year they release it, just like they did this generation. Basically, they announce it in February and they release it in November. So whatever year PlayStation comes out, that's when that's how they're going to do it. I can't really speak for Microsoft. They did it last time in May, I believe. I don't know if they're going to do that again, but I think Sony, because Sony, one thing about Sony, I guess because they're a Japanese company, they like consistency. So I expect them to do the same thing again. Whatever year the PS5 drops, you're going to get the announcement in February and the release in November. I just can't tell you what year it's going to be. I think it's going to be either 2020 or 2021. Probably 2020. Yeah, but Brett, but to answer your question, I do believe we're going to get a lot of third-party guys talking about next-gen games. Even if there's no next-gen system, they're going to talk about next-gen games, just like they did in E3 2011. A bunch of them talking about next-gen games, but there was no next-gen system in sight, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like the way, you know, Ubisoft did that thing with
remember when Watch Dogs was first? People were like, "What the fuck is that?" You know, I mean, obviously it didn't turn out like that, but it let you know that was the first little hint that the next gen was being worked on, and we all know next gen is being worked. Actually, Phil said it already. They're working on a new Xbox. You think Sony's not working on the new shit? You know they are. You know.
Yeah, we know it, and that's the thing. Yeah. That's why I was saying this question. Like, I know that they're asking you as in an industry insider, nudge, how long are we looking? But that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't really need to be an industry insider. They gave you a lot of information. They're working on them. They have prototypes that have been handed off, or at least spec sheets that have been handed off to developers. They're making games for them. It is firmly chugging along. It is in development.
Yeah, so don't worry about it. Again, Brett said it perfectly. You don't need to be an insider for that shit. You already know what's up. All right, and the last question, this is where Manny and I could just speak a little bit more on this. How was your trip to E3?
It was actually quite good. Like, it was probably the smoothest. Each year, I feel like we kind of get a better handle as to.
By the way, this from Czar is great. By the way, I almost forgot what's going on, brother. Yeah, but we go ahead, Manny. Yeah, smoothest fucking E3 we've had in a while. Anyway, go ahead.
And the cheapest.
You got to understand something about me and Manny. We're New Yorkers, right? So if we could take public transportation, we will, and we were able to do it this year. Our hotel was 2 blocks away from a train station, and we found out the train station actually leaves you right by the convention center. So we, we did some reconnaissance, I guess, before. Like, oh shit.
and this was based on last year, because last year I came in early to, just for a little bit of vacation time and meet up with folks. And I took the train. I took the trains and buses. I'm like, dude, if we could do this shit, let's do it. So then, when Tony found when we got the hotel, we found out, oh shit, it's right next to a train station. All right, so let's make this shit work. It's a $25 to get a Metro card over there in California for 7 days.
Yo, man, tap that ass.
The tap card. And we were literally like, we took the train up to EA up in Hollywood. We took the thing to took the bus to friggin'
PlayStation.
Sony,
yep,
to Sony's. And it was just one bus, and we took the train every single day to E3, the LA Convention Center, every day.
Were there other people at your hotel that were going to the shows?
Yeah, there was a couple.
Yes, there was a girl, a cosplayer friend named Riot. That's her cosplay name, but she always used to. She was there for Let It Die last year. She's always doing gaming stuff. So this year she was doing some sort of MMO, doing some sort of cosplay for that. And she was literally like 2 doors down from us. And I've known her for years as as an artist, because she always does every single like comic convention across the country. So yeah, it was cool to see her there.
Yeah, but yeah, this E3, the whole trip was smooth as fuck. We only needed to take Uber twice from the airport to the airport, save money. And then the place we were staying at, it had, even though it was sketchy, we'll tell you a little bit about that later. It had a lot of places to eat. We hit up Denny's all the time, Jack in the Box, this place called King of New York Pizza, which actually was pretty good pizza. Not great. It was decent. Pizza. It was decent pizza for LA, For
LA.
Yeah, and our favorite 7-Eleven. Man, that
7-Eleven. Man. Okay, so yeah, now we're gonna talk about how the sketchy neighborhood that this hotel was in.
Okay, but by the way, let me just set it up. The instant we got there, we knew something was up. When we got there, I'm just being real. 3 hookers right in front of the hotel. I was like, oh, here we go.
As we were there, one of the concierge from the hotel actually kind of shooed them away, like, hey, get out. They went away. Yeah. But like that. Once I'm gonna tell you. Once this neighborhood, we were in Koreatown. Once this neighborhood, once it hit like 10 p.m., man, that town just turned fucking character world. Like, okay, have you ever heard of situations where there are security guards at, food places like
armed security guards?
Armed security guards. Like once 10 p.m. hit, there was an armed security guard that showed up at the Denny's. There would be an armed security guard at the fucking 7-Eleven, a gas station at the corner. And we saw some shit. Like literally at one point, we saw this one guy, like this guy was, I guess he was drunk or driving, and he was just being a total dick. And man, the dude pulled out his fucking stun baton shit and threatened the guy to get back into his car. And not to mention, there's been a bunch of other stuff. Like, just crazy ass homeless people just walking around doing crazy shit. It was a very special place.
Yeah. By the way, Dr. Evil wants to know, what parties did we attend and what foods did we eat? We didn't go to any parties.
We didn't. There was I
was invited to a Fortnite party, but I'm being real. I had too much shit to do, so I'm like, here's the thing. I'm just being honest. I'm at that point. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about parties. I just want to hang out with my friends. I'd rather do that instead. Go to like Smash Burger or Yard House and just talk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I didn't really go to any parties. And then food. Yeah, food.
We didn't partake in the fancy shit. I mean,
how we are, man. We keep it real.
Yeah, we just kind of like the biggest spending we did was on the last day. Really, was at what's that place?
Yard House. Right? Yeah, Yard House. It's money. So yeah, we ate at Yard. Go ahead.
I think a more appropriate question is, did you guys bring back any swag?
Here's the thing. People are going to think I'm crazy about this. I personally try to stay away from swag if I can, because I'm not trying to bring all that shit back with me. I got a couple of T-shirts, a couple little keychains. When I went to, because I had appointments for several headsets and controllers, they wanted to give them to me right there. I'm like, no, you ship that shit to me. I am not bringing that back with me. I do not like swag. Keep that shit away from me. I'm not bringing that back,
I had a little bit of swag, but I actually did wait on a line for you guys, and I'm going to show it to you here now.
Let's go.
if you looked at my Twitter, I have this guy right here, which is a poster for Street Fighter V, signed by the producer of Street Fighter V, Mr.
Ono.
Mr. Ono-san. So, yeah, I still waited on the line. It was a short line, and I got this for you guys. I'm not exactly sure how we want to do this. What do we want to do?
We're gonna do it on Thursday. We're gonna give this shit away on Thursday.
Okay, so yeah, listen to Thursday, and you can get yourself a signed print of a poster of Street Fighter stuff signed by Mr. Ono-san.
Yeah, Lewis, I guess you missed it. He goes, "Are there any hip hop gamer stories?" Manny, Manny, just quickly, just recap.
Oh yeah, let's just say I sat next to Hip Hop Gamer during the Xbox conference, and it was it was a crazy ride.
Yeah, Lewis, just do me a favor, listen back to the episode. Manny gave the full detail of the Hip Hop Gamer story. He had an experience.
It was but the thing is, it shows that he also trusts me as a friend. Because he wouldn't do that shit to anybody.
No, he wouldn't.
He wouldn't do, if it was Joe Blow that was sitting next to him, he wouldn't be doing the shit that he was doing.
Yo, imagine Hip Hop Gamer choking some random white dude.
Oh my god, oh my god, then it'll be on the internet. Hip Hop Gamer choked me. He put his hands on me.
Hey, what's going on, Dirty Death Dealer? Yeah, Dirty, trust me, bro. Listen to listen back. Manny has a story. Yeah, but Manny, right? He trusts you. That's why he's doing shit like that.
That's why he's doing that shit. And, and the thing is, it's all good. Yeah, I know people some people like hip hop. I mean, here's the thing: as much as people say that he's fake and he's all that shit, no, that guy definitely has a genuine enthusiasm for video games in general. Like he just loves video games. So, that was it right there.
We can tell you from having him on the podcast, like dude is sincere. The only thing we've ever said is dude, he gets shining a spotlight on him, it activates his fucking superpower. Superman, the yellow rays of the sun.
Oh yeah,
camera and
he's on.
He just sucks all the energy of the room right into himself and then starts projecting it.
Yeah, we're not gonna say any names, but Manny did have a conversation with somebody who's not exactly a fan of his, and this person felt that hip hop was being fake, and Manny's like, no, that's him. He turns it on a little more, obviously, but that's him. Yeah,
it's not fake. It's not a put on. It's not any of that stuff. I mean, the only thing I could say is that he's just when the cameras are on, he is. He grows. Whatever was him, it grows 1,000 feet. It's fucking. It's like fucking Apache Chief from the Justice League. He's like,
oh my god,
like that.
People too, though. For those of you who are not understanding the exact nuance of what they're saying, let me break it down for you a little bit more. If you know anybody who is passionate about something, video games, movies, fucking art, Broadway plays or something like that. When you get them talking and they just grow 10 feet, you see them be like, oh my God, you can hear the passion in their voice. Hip hop's passion is reporting and being hip hop. It is video games, but it is also being a personality. It is also being the showman. So he's not faking that shit. He actually does grow 10 feet taller when the cameras come on. It's not him putting on an actor emphasizing.
Are they expecting? What in my mind, I'm thinking that the person that's asking, or the people that ask this question, if it's fake, is that once the camera's off, he's like, all right, where's my suit? I need.
No, he doesn't. No, that's not him. That's not him.
I'm not. Yo, let me put away this fucking belt.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, can you hold this shit?
Last thing about hip hop, and I'm not gonna say too much, but Manny and I have talked to him about personal shit. Trust me, he's a regular dude too, but he doesn't change. He's the same guy. It's like basically you at 8 a.m. in the mornings, it's different than you at 12 p.m., but you're still the same person. You just have different energy levels depending on the situation.
But yeah, it was definitely a ride. Being next to him,
being choked by hip hop,
being choked by hip hop gamer. Literally almost ripping my blazer off my body.
Quick story I got to talk about that. Okay, on the last day we bumped into a fan that was at the fan fest, right? And this guy, he was very happy to talk to us because we were industry people, right? The funniest part was because Manny had a fucking blazer and shit, looks all professional. He's like, oh, I bet you don't play games, do you? Like, damn, son.
Yo, man, it's all about changing those symbols. man.
Yeah, that was something funny about. Okay, this happened because he asked us what was your favorite game of E3? What are you most anticipating? Right. So he goes to Manny. He's like, oh, I bet you don't even play games though. And then Manny had to correct it. But the first thing when
And
he
he's
asked,
not a fan of us. He would have heard the show. He would have known.
no, he's not a fan of us. He's a ex. You know, he was one of the Xbox fan fest.
He was
guys.
Xbox Fan Fest.
So but I'm being real right now. The first thing out of my mouth when he asked us like, what game are you anticipating? I'm like, bro, at this moment, I'm not thinking about any motherfucking games. I'm thinking about my bed back at home. You know, that shit was crazy. I was going to shout out to Dana in the chat room. You know,
Dana,
thank you for being a panelist. That was awesome. But yeah, E3, we're about to wrap this up. But yeah, E3 was fucking great. We're probably going to give you more stories in a couple weeks and stuff.
Yeah, we got stories for days.
Yeah, smoothest trip. The most games. I've never been this busy before. But it's funny. This was the busiest E3. It was also my most chill E3. I was relaxed the whole fucking time. You know, even when I should have been sleepy, I was chilling. You know, so yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, a lot of that stuff. You had rooms and stuff. You didn't need to go through the show floor as
that
much.
Was great. A lot of the appointments were upstairs, away from the fans, which was great. Last year it wasn't really like that. So this year I think they stepped it up. It was good. Also, I'm not gonna name any names because there's just so many people. Shout out to everybody we hung out with. You know, great fucking people, man.
Yeah, shout out to everybody. You know, I said this on my Twitter. It's always awesome coming to E3 because it's kind of like the center point for a lot of the people in gaming and in the journalism, and just seeing where people have gone since even just the last year is amazing.
Yeah,
just everybody is just like, I'm gonna say this, Charles, I'm proud of that dude. Like fucking Spawn on Me, those guys, man, step that shit up.
Jake Baldino,
fucking Young,
Malik,
all these guys, Malik, every one of these guys, like they just totally stepped their game up, and it's always just like great to see that they're where they're going, and they just continue to push it. Red Infamy, everybody.
Yeah, man, you already know. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. So a couple things here before we leave. Tomorrow night on Monday, we're gonna have the AMA show. That's Ask Us Anything. I guess it should be whatever. I don't know how to say it for plural.
AMA.
Yeah, AMA, Ask Me Anything, Ask Us Anything, AUA. So that's just to even out the numbers and shit. So we're going to do this for you guys live. We actually did get a couple of questions that were not related to E3, so I'm going to bump those over to that episode. Dana, like your question about WWE, that was not about fucking E3, but we will answer that tomorrow. So, and you can ask us anything. It could be about games, movies, comics, personal shit. We want you guys to ask us anything. It'll be the usual time, 10:30 p.m.
Anime, soccer,
anything, man. Mexico won, right, Carlos?
Anime,
Mexico, I mean, I'll get into it. Those guys, when I was in LA, they were like, "Yo, if we beat fucking Germany, son." So,
my household went fucking crazy.
Yeah, I bet, man. So congrats to Mexico.
Mexico.
Yeah, man. Fuck Germany.
Bunch of Nazis over there.
Oh, man, chill. The opinions of
I'm kidding. We love you, Germany.
The opinions of Emilio Lopez do not reflect, All right, man.
You put a big censor in that section and you sit there.
Boop.
Boop, 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 boop. Germany, boop, boop, boop. You know what you poop.
Yeah. All right, man. So let's wrap this up. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the comment section of this episode. Actually, skip all that AMA, but for the next episode, for 189, leave us your questions in this episode. We'll answer them next week, man. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Mixer, Twitter, Facebook, and Periscope at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and tonight's joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Brett Murdoch.
It's been real, party people.
Adam Vale.
Have a good week, people, and I got a surprise for you.
And Brian Manjoma.
Let people enjoy things, will you, please?
Yes, indeed. Enjoy. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, man. Later.
Later, guys.
Happy birthday, Adam.
Happy birthday, Adam.
Thank you.
Oh, shit. Wait, Adam, it's your birthday?
No.
I know.